शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। पूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम्। नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्र यमानिलेभ्यो नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः। ॐ नमः परमहंसास्वादितचरणकमलचिन्मकरन्दाय भक्तजनं मानसनिवासाय श्रीरामचन्द्राय ॐ। So we are in 21st Sarga of Ayodhyakaanda. So these things will happen slowly. So I mean it will proceed slowly. The story itself will proceed slowly and our Satsanga is also proceeding slowly. You should be a little patient. Also because this context is like that, there is a lot of things to discuss. There is a lot of commentary. I am skipping a lot of it. For example, the entire, what should I say, hidden double meaning that Shiromani Kara is saying. So all that I am skipping. Double meaning in the sense that there is a hidden meaning that everybody knows what is happening, etc. Everything is a leela. So everybody is playing along in the leela, etc. That meaning entirely I am omitting. Only here and there I am mentioning it. And secondly, even Dharma Rahasyas, a lot of things are there. So to the extent possible, we are discussing it. So I'm just imploring you to have some patience, which you have. I'm just reiterating it for my own sake. So we have finished up to 41st shloka, I think. So before that 40th shloka, Rama says, Mama Matur Mahat Dukkham Atulam Shubhalakshana. Hey Lakshmana Shubhalakshana. He's giving an adjective. I don't know if I have stressed on that earlier. So Shubhalakshana, hey Lakshmana, who has all auspicious signs. So maybe he's trying to say, Lakshmana, you look very beautiful. Now you are looking angry. So your beauty, facial beauty seems to be disturbed. Don't get angry. Somehow like that we can interpret. Abhiprayam navijnaya satyasya cha shamasya cha. So this mama matuhu mahad dukkham atulam. So this atulam dukkham, so incomparable dukkham, great dukkham, mahad dukkham that my mother is having. So that is because, so abhiprayam navijnaya satyasya shamasya cha. So mama abhiprayam you should say. So my abhiprayam, that is my nishtha with respect to satya and shama. So with respect to these two things, my commitment, she doesn't know. And that's why she is experiencing this dukkham. That is, if she knows that this is so maybe if she thinks, okay, Rama is adamant, so in fact in the end that's how she's going to decide. How much ever I say, he's not going to listen. So she recognizes in some way, okay, this is how he's committed, let me leave now. So very unwillingly she agrees. So that not knowing my commitment to satyam and also my commitment to shama, that is, hey Lakshmana, if I want, so even without your help I can make all things anukula to me. I can just put father under prison or whatever. So suppose I say I will not do what you say. So Dasharatha in fact will even be happy, etc. But I don't want to do all of that. So my commitment towards Satyam and Shama, she doesn't know, and therefore she is getting this dukkha because she is, what should I say? She is resisting. Suppose she knew that Rama is going to be like this only, perhaps she won't resist so much, and because of that resistance, she would not have so much dukkha. That is what he is trying to say. So mama abhiprayam navijnaya satyasya cha shamasya cha. So with respect to both of those things, he is going to explain now in the coming chapter, coming shlokas, and subsequently also in the coming chapters. So there was some small discussion last time after the class was over about these things. Okay, so of course, so Ayodhyakaanda is such that it what should I say, instigates or inspires a lot of thinking within us. So like I told, sometimes so we even get angry on Rama itself. So on Rama itself, so it's very frustrating even to read these things. So these people are saying like that Rama wants to go. Why can't Rama just give in to these things, or why can't they give up on persuading him, etc. Valmiki is going to give a very beautiful simile on this later, and also he is going to show how Rama himself is getting frustrated. I want to do, you see, you imagine Rama's situation. He is doing something that is technically the greatest dharma to do. Instead of appreciating it, everybody is only dissuading him. How he must be feeling? So if suppose it was me, so I would feel, so you are not appreciating me for my goodness, so something like that. Rama, how would he be feeling? So everybody in fact would praise him. hey Rama, what you are doing is the greatest dharma, you are the greatest person, nobody can do such a sacrifice. Instead of appreciating his sacrifice, everybody is only persuading him, or rather dissuading him, how he must be feeling. So you should keep these things also in mind perhaps. So there is this conflict later. Govindaraja is going to say that, I will tell you briefly now. Later we will discuss there. Conflict between Niti and Dharma. So Loka Niti, you can say, that is Kevala Niti, he is going to say. So what is the easy solution, or what is the obvious solution versus what is Dharma? So the obvious need not always be Dharma. I mean, Dharma need not always be obvious. That is always there. That's why we say Dharma Shastram is the Pramanam, etc. But anyway, that discussion is always there. I'm just bringing in on record some discussion that we had last time, some part of it. Anyway, dharmo hi paramo loke dharme satyam pratishthitam dharma samshritamapyetat piturvachanamuttamam. So this piturvachanam, which is uttamam, this great instruction that father has given, and that is, first of all, it is piturvachanam. On top of it, it is dharma samshritam also. It is filled with dharma also. What is the dharma? Because it is father's word, that itself is dharma. On top of it, it was father's word that he gave to somebody. I mean, because it is father's instruction, that itself is dharma. On top of it, his commitment to dharma is depending on my, following that instruction, because he gave a word to Kaikeyi and he has to be committed to that word, and his commitment to dharma is depending on my action. Therefore, for two reasons, because it is dharma, to do father's word itself is dharma, and on top of it, father's dharma is also depending on it. Therefore, we have to do it. That's what he is trying to say. Dharmo hi paramaha, loke dharmaha hi paramaha. That is, dharma is the greatest of the three purusharthas. Is loke. So very importantly here, Govindaraja is not saying. Subsequently, somewhere in this chapter, the same idea will be coming. Dharma, loke. So in that loke word will come. There, Govindaraja or Tilakakara, somebody is pointing out, Govindaraja perhaps, saying that loke shows, so between the three purusharthas and not moksha. So between dharma, artha and kama, dharma is the greatest. So that is the idea, because it brings in, so Rama himself is going to talk all that. Dharma is the one purushartha that brings in the other two purusharthas also. And then dharme satyam pratishthitam, by following a dharmic life. So even the tattva jnana, etc. So following a dharmic life makes us the worthy receptacle to understand atma jnanam, etc. So up to this we have seen. Perhaps so 42nd onwards we are seeing samshrutya cha piturvakyam maturva brahmanasya va nakartavyam vrutha veera dharmam ashritya tishtata. Perhaps this also we have seen or we have read, I don't remember, but I'm seeing from here again. So samshrutya cha piturvakyam maturva brahmanasya va, having heard father's words or mother's words or brahmana's words, so na vrutha kartavyam, he veera lakshmana. So having heard or having been instructed here, heard means what? So having been instructed by them, or having been given some task by them, now vritha kartavyam, you should not let it go in vain. You should see to it that we implement their word. Dharmam ashritya tishtata. Suppose you say, I'm not committed to dharma, then it's a different thing. But we are all committed to dharma. Therefore, for us who are dharmam ashritya tishtata. So dharmam ashritya tishtata means, for a person who is committed to dharma in life, for such a person, having obtained some instruction, specific instruction from father, mother or brahmana, he should not let it go in vain. He should follow on it, follow up and implement it. सोहम न शक्ष्यामि पुनर्नियोगम अतिवर्तितुम पितुर्हि वचनाद्वीर कैकेय्याहं प्रचोदितः. I think we have seen all this. So anyway, very briefly, soham na shakshyami punaha. So niyogam ativartitum. So pituhu niyogam, father's instructions, ativartitum, to transcend, not transcend here, but so to supersede or whatever, to negate. So na shakshyami, I'm not capable. That is, I'm not interested in transgressing. That's the word I was looking for. So transgressing. So I don't want to transgress father's words. So soham na shakshyami. So saha aham, this saha is important here. So everywhere when this saha, sa, etc. comes, so we have to try to form some link. So that pronoun there would be pregnant with some meaning. Here saha aham means that me, means what? That me who is committed to dharma. So punaha pitu. So punaha here means, having first been instructed by father, now in opposition to that instruction, I don't want to do anything. That's the idea of punaha here. So punaha niyogam pituhu niyogam ativartitum nashakshyami. Nashakshyami means I'm not, so nashakshyami doesn't mean I'm not capable of. It means I'm not interested in. So I don't have an interest in transgressing father's words. But then you can say that is not father's words. Kaikeyi told you. No, no. Piturhi vachanadvira kaikeyaham prachoditaha. So, hey Veera, hey Lakshmana, by father's instructions, with father's permission only, Kaikeyi could instruct such a thing. It was father's wish, which Kaikeyi just, she was just the medium who conveyed it to me. Tadetam visrjanaryam kshatradharmashritam matim dharmamashrayama taikshnyam madbuddhir anugamyatam. So I think this is where we left. So dharmam ashrayam. So taikshnyam dharmam ma ashraya. That is, don't take recourse to taikshnyam dharmam, a cruel dharma. Don't take recourse to, hey Lakshmana. That is, he has been quoting dharma, Guru also. If he goes arrogant, etc., you can put him behind bars, or you can put an end to him. Such a thing, okay? You might be saying that is dharma, but that is taikshnyam. So tikshna dharma, that is. So taikshnyam dharmam. So ma ashraya. So don't take recourse to such a cruel dharma, hey Lakshmana. So tadetam visrja anaryam kshatra dharmam. So kshatra dharmashritam matim. Sorry. So kshatra dharmashritam matim anaryam matim. So it is a very cruel dharma. So a lot of commentary is there on this. So tad etam means this matim. Etam matim, this mind or this nishchaya that you are having, which is kshatra dharma shritam. No doubt it is something very kshatriya thing to do, but then it is anarya mati, it is. And also, so it is tikshna dharma. Such a thing you please don't follow. So madbuddhim anugamyatam. Instead of following that tikshna dharma, you follow my instructions here. So so these commentators are not saying such things here, but there are discussions like this in Mahabharata, etc. So it might be dharma, what Lakshmana is saying might be dharma actually. But then how can, if it is dharma, how can Bhagavan say don't follow that dharma? So this is follow Bhagavad Vachanam is a more Vishesha dharma. Here, like he tells Arjuna also, it. So this is the himsa is the samanya. So ahimsa is samanya dharma. But I am telling you, go and kill. Such kind of interpretations they give. Okay, so bhakti people, because I am telling you, you do, therefore it will not be a dharma to you. Like that. So it might be dharma, but then that is putting father behind bars, etc. But because I am telling you, don't do it, you follow my instructions. So that interpretation also people usually give. It's not there in the commentaries. So madbuddhim anugamyatam, you follow my buddhi. That is my commitment that I am having, that you follow. So here anaryam matim pitaram badhva hatva va rajyam kartavyam ityevam adharma vishayam matim. So this visrija anaryam matim, he is telling, this unrefined or very brute nishchaya mati that you are having, thoughts that you are having. What is the brute thought that he is having here? So I will kill Father Dasharatha, or I will put him in behind bars and somehow obtain this rajyam. That kind of brute mati, brute, what should I say, brute thoughts, you please don't entertain. Anaryam matim visrija, please give up on those thoughts. So, but then it is kshatra dharma ashritam, no doubt. But then what you should do? So ma taikshnyam dharma mashraya. So this taikshnyam dharma, tikshna dharma, please don't take recourse to. So madbuddhihi pitruvakya karana rupa anugamyatam anuvartyatam. Madbuddhihi anugamyatam means what? My buddhi or my nishchaya is to follow father's words, and you also help me in following that. You also follow father's words. That is, you don't fight against that words. That's the idea. So again, like I told you last time, I think I left on this note that, so this is also one of the lingas to show how Rama's character is such that if it is such a cruel thing, even if it is Kshatriya dharma, he will not follow. So how could he have, left Sita like that in the forest without telling her anything? So without even talking to her, without giving her any news about it himself. And then how Lakshmana, this I told you earlier. So Lakshmana also said, so if there is no dosha in this person, how can father send him to forest like that? Such a Lakshmana who was ready to fight against his father, would he be quiet when Rama is doing a similar thing? So that is one linga we saw. Here one more lingam, that is this tikshna dharma, please don't take recourse to. When having Rama himself having instructed Lakshmana, would he himself, that is Rama himself, do such a thing later? So that is doubtful. So Rama's character is like that, which is being, subsequently. And one more linga is Rama's love for Sita is like that. So who does such a Rama do such a thing? Therefore, Uttarakhanda may not have been Valmiki's own writing, because it goes against the nature of the hero, that is of Rama. Anyway, so 45th shloka, tameva muktva sauhardad bhrataram lakshmanagrajaha uvacha bhuyah kausalyam Kausalyam Pranjali Shirasanataha. So there is some commentary on 44th here before we go to the 45th shloka. So Govindaraja very nicely writes some things here. Evam Satya Rahasya Muktva Shamasya Tattvamaha. First of all, he is telling here, don't take recourse to this Krura Mati, etc. Here he is talking about his commitment to Shama, that is to commitment to, have restraint. That commitment he is talking about here. So I am showing restraint. I don't want to take recourse to such a Krura Dharma. Hey Lakshmana, therefore you also don't follow. By saying that, he is showing his commitment to restraint. That is one thing. Anaryam dushtam pitaramapi hatva rajyam kuryam ityevam rupam kshatra dharmashritam kevala shura dharmashritam. What is this kshatra dharmashritam matim? So it is kevala shura dharmashritam matim. So it is just just because you have valor, etc., power, and the king is weak, therefore you want to do such a thing. Please don't do such a thing. So Raudra Shatya Sahita Kshatra Dharma Shritam iti va arthaha. So this Kshatra Dharma Shrita, which is filled with Raudra, Raudra is, that cruel nature. Shatya is so to be a cheat, etc. Such a thing. So Sahita Kshatra Dharma Shritam. So ma ashraya, don't take recourse to. Now he is going to some discussion. Kshatra Dharmasya Tathatvam. So Kshatra Dharmasya Tathatvam. Tathatvam means this Raudram, etc. That is how Kshatriya Dharma is. Kshatriya Dharma involves Raudram, etc., cruelty, etc. So that is Pratipaditam Mahabharate Rajadharme. In Mahabharata and Rajadharma Parva. Rajadharma Parva is a very famous section of Mahabharata which comes in Shanti Parva. So like you must be knowing Shanti, so there are 18 Parvas in Mahabharata. Within Parvas there are Upaparvas, so subsections. So those Upaparvas are also called Parvas. So within Shanti Parva you have Rajadharma Parva, and then Apad Dharma Parva and Moksha Dharma Parva. 3 sections. Shanti Parva is the biggest Parva in Mahabharata. So that has 3 huge sections. So if you have Gita Press's 5-6 volumes of Mahabharata, so one entire volume is Shanti Parva. So you can imagine, big fat volume, of which there are 3 sub-parvas. So in other parvas you have many sub-parvas. Here there are only 3 sub-parvas, and within that Rajadharma Parva, Apad Dharma Parva and Moksha Dharma Parva. They are mutually exclusive. What is Rajadharma may not be Moksha Dharma, etc. Anyway, so that is a different thing. Rajadharma Parva, in that Rajadharma Parva, so this is Arjuna tells Yudhishthira there. So Rajadharma Parva, I don't know, even at the cost of taking time, let me tell you. So because just this year I started studying Shanti Parva a little. Okay, so that's how I remember this. It comes beginning of Mahabharata itself. Very nice. So how Shanti Dharma starts is, so just before Shanti Dharma has ended, I think 3 Parva is the Parva before that. So there Yudhishthira, etc. will be doing Tarpanam for Duryodhana and all those people who died, and then Kunti Devi will come and tell Yudhishthira, hey Yudhishthira, please offer Tarpanam to Karna also. So Yudhishthira will be shocked, why is she asking me to offer Tarpanam to Karna? So why is he shocked? Means what adhikara I have to offer Tarpanam to Karna? Then she says, very passingly, she says, Karna is also my son, in fact he is elder brother to you, etc. And with that, new Shanti Parva starts, as in with Yudhishthira's lamenting over, I didn't know it. Had I known, I would have willingly gone and submitted to him. He makes a very touching remark there, as even I'm saying, I'm getting goosebumps. That is, Yudhishthira says, so in that Draupadi Vastrapaharanam time, that was a very disturbing time for me. So I was silently bearing with all that. I was getting angry myself, but he was sitting down, he was sitting down and his head was down. And whenever I look at Karna's feet, I was reminded of Kunti Devi. And I was wondering, how can Karna have so much resemblance with my mother's feet? It looks like my mother's feet only. So as soon as I see Karna's feet, my heart immediately, it becomes Shanta, because I'm reminded of my mother. And I used to think, how can Karna's feet resemble my mother's feet so much? And on looking those feet, I would get so pacified, even in that disturbing, very agonizing time. I would get angry, but as soon as my eyes fall on Karna's feet, I would get Shanta. So etc. He feels, laments a lot, and then he says, I don't want to rule over such a kingdom obtained by so much of bloodshed, etc. In Andhra, Bharatam, etc. So Tinajalanu Netru Kudu, like that there is a padyam. So this food filled with blood, I don't want to. So Bhunjiya Bhogan Rudhira Pradigdhan, like Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita beginning. So this is bhogas which are filled with blood, I don't want to enjoy. So there, when Yudhishthira says such things, of course Narada comes and tells Yudhishthira all the story about Karna, etc. And then even after that, Yudhishthira says, I don't want to rule over this kingdom. Then Arjuna, Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva, and Draupadi, Krishna, all of them tell him one by one. They take a class, chapter by chapter. Arjuna will talk, Yudhishthira will reply to Arjuna. Each one is one chapter. Arjuna's talk is one chapter, Yudhishthira's reply is one chapter. Again Arjuna will talk, again Yudhishthira will reply, Bhima will talk, he will reply, Draupadi will, Nakula will talk, he will reply, Sahadeva will talk, he will, Draupadi will talk, like that. So in that many things, from many angles, they will be goading him into ruling the kingdom, etc. So in that context, Arjuna makes one shloka, which Govindaraja is putting here. So he says, see, Kshatriya Dharma is like that. So you want to follow your Swadharma and still you want to be soft. That cannot happen because your Swadharma is Kshatriya Dharma. Are you getting the point? So there he says, Kshatriya Dharmo Maharaudraha Shastra Nitya iti smritaha Vadhascha Bharata Shrestha Kale Shastrena Sanyuge. Hey Bharata Shrestha, hey Yudhishthira, greatest amongst Bharata Vamshiyas. So Kshatriya Dharma Maharaudraha. Kshatriya Dharma is like that. It is Maharaudraha. Shastra Nitya iti smritaha. I think Govindaraja takes some other patha here. Shatakritya iti smritaha. So I have seen Mahabharata Shanti Parva book. There it is Shastra Nitya. That is Shatakritya you can say. So Shatakritya means very malignant dharma it is. Or if you say Shastra Nitya iti smritaha, Shastra Nitya means it involves using weapons always. So it involves harming, hurting other people. Vadhascha. So it has Vadha also. So Vadha where Kale Sanyuge. So when the time comes in a war, Sanyuga means war, in a war, Sanyuge Kale, Shastrena Vadhaha also is there. You have to use Shastra and kill a person in a war. You can't help it. That is your Swadharma. So you don't have to have any grief about it, etc. So Arjuna says there that he is quoting here. Kshatriya Dharma involves, so this cruelty by nature it involves that, like Rama says here, Kshatriya Dharma Shritam Matim means that Krura Mati, that is that cruelty, that you don't take recourse to. He is telling Lakshmana here. Anyway, so Shatakriti Tadrishi Matim Visrija Kintu Dharmamapyashraya Mataikshyam. So even if it is dharma, because it is cruel, don't take recourse to itah paramapi krauryam mashraya mad buddhihi mama buddhihi anugamyatam anuvartyatam. Even not just now, hey Lakshmana, later also, if you have to choose between a soft swadharma and cruel swadharma, here swadharma is, so Rama has a choice, Yudhishthira didn't have that choice. So Rama has two things, whether I should follow father's words or whether I should go and kill father or put him in jail and then, enjoy this kingdom. So he had that option anyway. So, and then one more larger comment Govindaraja makes about Ramayana itself. So he's telling here, Lokayatamatam kevala nitir nashrayaniya kintu dharmamashrita nitihi ityarthaha. So what Rama is telling Lakshmana here is, so don't, when you have to choose between niti and dharma, so don't take recourse to niti, you have to follow dharma. So what is niti and what is dharma? Niti you can say is, so very practical wisdom, situational wisdom you can say. So what you get aihikartha. So niyante labhyante aihikarthaha anaya iti nitihi. So you get, so anena or anaya, I think so anaya. So you get niti is through which you get worldly benefits. Between that is you can rule the kingdom here. Between that and then dharma. What is the definition of dharma? Dharati lokan iti dharmaha. So that is the world order, something that keeps, what should I say, harmony in this world. That is dharma. And then there is another dharayati. Dharayati tiva dharmaha. There is one definition like that. That is that which is upheld by punyatmas, mahatmas. That is also dharma. So anyway, so between niti and dharma, when you have to choose dharma only. That is what Rama is telling here. Between some practical thing and between what is dharma, which may not be very practical or obvious, you have to always choose dharma. That is what Rama is telling. Asmin hi shastre. He is making a comment about Ramayana here. Asmin hi shastre means in this shastra. He is looking upon Ramayana as a dharma shastra. You see, Asmin hi shastre dharmasthapanam uchyate. So dharmasthapanam is the paramasiddhanta of this shastra. Sthapanancha. So how do you do dharma sthapanam? How do you do? Sthapanancha dharmam antarena kevala nitireva artha sadhanamiti lokayatamata nirasena. How does this shastra establish dharma? It establishes by negating this kevala niti, which is lokayata mata, practical wisdom, you push it by keeping it aside. Dharma mantarena kevala niti reva artha sadhanam. So dharma mantarena, without dharma, kevala niti alone accomplishes all the needs that we have. Such kind of thing, this lokayata matam, so nirasena, by pushing or by refuting such lokayata matam. So this dharma, this shastra Ramayana established dharma. How does it do so? That also he is telling. तेन तत्र तत्र लक्ष्मण मुखेन लोकायत्तं प्रवर्तिते उपन्यस्ते तन्निरासेन रामेण धर्मः स्थाप्यते इति रहस्यम. There is a rahasyam to this shastram he is telling. That is what Valmiki does is, he doesn't say this is niti, this is dharma, do this, don't do that. He doesn't give you lectures like that, but he shows that what Lakshmana is saying is this kevala niti. Everywhere here, whenever Lakshmana speaks something that is in contradiction to what Rama wants to do, so that shows Lakshmana is suggesting something which is lokayata mata, that is this kevala niti, and what Rama is saying is dharma. So between that, ultimately what Rama says will go ahead, so such kind of scene he creates or situation he creates, and he's expounding on it. It is Valmiki's technique of telling between niti and dharma, you have to follow dharma. Iti rahasyam, this is the rahasyam of the shastra he's telling. It's a key, so later also, when there is any contradiction between Lakshmana's words and Rama's words, this is how we have to understand. Very nice commentary here. Anyway, so dharma mashraya mataikshyam madbuddhir anugamyatam tameva muktva sauhardat bhrataram lakshmanagrajaha uvacha bhuyah kausalyam pranjali shirasanatah. So tameva muktva, tam bhrataram, that Lakshmana, to him the brother Lakshmana, eva muktva, so having said so much, that is all these things having said, Sauhardat. Why did he tell all this to Lakshmana? Out of love for him, and very lovingly he told him. That meaning also you can say very lovingly he explained these things. Sauhardat Bhrataram. See, even amidst all these things, very coolly he explains. Later Valmiki says he is getting angry and kind of irritated or frustrated. Still very coolly he is explaining these things. Valmiki says such things. We will see. So Sauhardat Lakshmanagrajaha. How did he have Sauharda? That is that what should I say, that brotherly feeling, or rather that love towards Lakshmana. Why does he have? Because he's Lakshmanagrajaha, he's the elder brother of Lakshmana. Therefore out of love he explained to Lakshmana. Uvacha bhuyaha kausalyam. So bhuyaha here, once again he started speaking to Kausalya. Pranjalihi shirasanataha. So he is doing namaskaram, and then little he's bending his head and very obediently. So the freedom that he can take with Lakshmana, he can give a sermon to Lakshmana. With Kausalya, very humbly he is just requesting. That's the idea. So okay, so shirasanataha anumanyaswamam devi gamishyanta mito vanam shapitasi mama prane kuru swastyayanani me. So anumanyaswamam devi, hey mother anumanyaswamam, please give me permission. Gamishyanta mito vanam. So give me permission means what kind of me? Taha vanam gamishyantam, to me who is going to forest from here. That is, I have made up my mind that I have to go to forest. That's what indirectly he's telling. I have made up my mind to go to the forest, and to such a me who has made up my mind, please give me your permission. Shapitasi mama pranaihi. So this is some kind of blackmail, like we say. So so in Telugu we say nami dotte. If you don't give me permission, so I swear on myself. That is, you have to give me permission, otherwise I will kill myself. Something like that. So shapitasi mama pranaihi shapitasi. So that is, I am swearing on my life. I am swearing on my life is, if you don't give me permission, I will take my life up. That is what he is trying to say. So shapitasi mama pranaihi. So shapitasi, shapatham prapitasi. So gamana rinodham ma kuru iti sheshaha. So what he is trying to say is, please don't obstruct me from going. If you obstruct me from going, I swear on myself. Means what? So I will go somehow, or I will kill myself. Something I will do. That's the idea. Kuru swastyayanani me. So swastyayanani, all these mangala prarthanam, etc. You please do, so instead of arguing against my going, you please pray as even I am going. You pray so that I will come back with a so successfully after finishing 14 years of vanavasam, I will come back hale and healthy. Such kind of prayers you do. So swastyayanani kuru. So may means for my sake. So for my welfare, please do prayers. Tirna pratignyashchavanat punareshyamyaham purim yayatriva rajarshihi purahitva punardivam. Tirna pratignaha vanat punaha eshyami aham purim. Aham, this Ayodhya Purim, Eshyami Punaha. Once again, I will come back. How, when will you come? Tirna Pratignaha. Once I have crossed over my Pratigna. That is, once I have fulfilled this 14 years of Vanavasam, that kind of rule having fulfilled. Tirna Pratignaha Vanat, from the Vana, Punaha Purim Eshyami Aham. I will return back to this Puri. How? Yayatriva Rajarshihi Pura Hitva Punar Divam. So this, like this Rajarshi Yayati, like him, I will come back. That is, there is the story of Yayati. This also is coming from Mahabharata. So maybe today is more Mahabharata than Ramayana. So Yayati, this story is there in Bhagavatam also. Very poignant story. So Yayati, so he has a long story. To make a long story short, he has two wives. One is, what is her name? Devayani. Devayani is Shukracharya's daughter, and Sharmishtha. Sharmishtha's father, there was some Asura father who was Shukracharya's Sishya only, some Danava father. So he has some name. So the Sharmishtha's father, both of them somehow. So Devayani is married to Yayati and Sharmishtha. So there's a lot of story behind that. So Sharmishtha once insults Devayani, she takes revenge and somehow makes the Sharmishtha, who is her father's Shishya's daughter, she makes her slave, etc. And when she gets married, this Sharmishtha also goes along with her to Yayati's house, and then Yayati has two sons through Devayani and one daughter. That daughter's name is, so some very famous name that is important for the story. The daughter's some name is there, and then three sons he has. So without Devayani's knowledge, he has three sons with Sharmishtha also, who is Devayani's slave. And then he has three sons through this Sharmishtha. And the third son of Sharmishtha is Puru, after whom this Puru Vamsha has come. Puru Vamsha only is called Kuru Vamsha. The Kaurava Vamsha has come. And then the first son of the Devayani is Yadu, from whom that Yadava Vamsha has come. So this Yayati, he is then, because without Devayani's knowledge, he had children with Sharmishtha. So Shukracharya, his father-in-law, curses him. You will lose your youth and all that. But still that desire to enjoy, all these bhogas remains with him. What he does, he will go and ask. So Shukracharya gives him an option. I can't take my word back, but then if any of your children wants to swap your life with them, or their young time with you, then they can do. Then he will call one by one the sons, he will call Yadu, etc. Nobody will be willing ultimately. That is two sons of Devayani he will call, then two sons of Sharmishtha he will call. None of the four will be willing. The fifth son, that is Sharmishtha's third son, Puru, he will be willing to swap his age with his father. He will be very happy. So 1000 years or something like that, he will swap. So therefore that Yayati will be, so he will enjoy 1000 years of youth, which actually belongs to Puru. He will swap with him, and then later he will come back. He will come back with a great realization. It is there in the Bhagavatam. Najatu kamah kamanam upabhogena shamyati havisha krishnavartmeva. This is a very beautiful shloka. Fourth para something is there. So I think I said this earlier also. So najatu kamaha kamanam upabhogena shamyati. So these kamas don't get quenched by consuming more and more kamas. That is, by consuming more and more bhogas, nobody attains satisfaction. So like even fire, the more and more you keep pouring, fuel, so it only keeps increasing. It doesn't end. So very famous shloka from Bhagavatam. Then he realizes, after 1000 years, he realizes, then he gives back his age to Puru, and then he takes back his age, then he goes to forest. He makes Puru the next successor, because of which then the Vamsha will be called Puru Vamsha. So he goes back to forest, does many penance and all that, and then he goes to Swargam. And then from Swargaloka, he enjoys Swargaloka. He has a lot of, freedom. He can move to Brahmaloka, Indraloka, etc. Once he goes to Indra, like that. So, and then he goes and he has some discussions with Indra. Then Indra asks him, how much punyam or how much yajna yagas you did? And he says, I don't think anybody did any more yajna yagas than me. I'm the greatest in the performance of yajna yagas, etc. So nobody did so many yajna yagas as I did. Then Indra gets angry, and what he does is he kicks him out of Indraloka and saying, your punyam is over, you better get out from here. He pushes him down from the earth. From Sarga, and then as even he comes on earth, then there are some people. So Govindaraja takes their name also somewhere. So Ashtaka, etc. I think. So this Yayati story is relevant. Later also it's going to be quoted. That's why I'm telling you in some detail. So he sees some rishis there. So who see this Yayati and ask him, who are you, etc. You are coming from there. Then he says, I am Yayati. I am coming from Indraloka, etc. Then they ask him some questions, he answers about Punya, Papa and all that. And then they say, okay, we are giving you our tapasya, you please return to heaven. So, like that Yayati who fell down from Sarga and went back to Sarga again. Okay, so that story he gives here. Later also Rama is going to give that story as a quote for some point. So like that Yayati, I will also come back. So the twist in the story is Vyasa later reveals that those people who gave them their punyam, they are his own grandchildren, his maternal grandchildren. So the sons of that lady, so Devayani's daughter, her name something is there. So by her daughter, these children were born. So they are all rishis also, I think, and they give them. So they are 5 grandsons, I think. So they give him their punyam, etc., with which he goes to Swarga again. So Yayati is very mysterious, I mean, very interesting story. So he takes young youth from his son, he takes punyam from his grandchildren, etc. Be that as it may, like that Rajarshi Yayati, so Pura, earlier what happened? So Hitva. So Pura Divam Hitva, Punaha Divam, he went back. That is, he fell down from Swarga and again he went back to Swarga. Like that, I also, having gone away from Ayodhya Puri, later I will come back. So like this, you should bless me. You bless me, you do your prayers in such a way. All the Swastyayatanani, Swastyayanani, those Swastyayanas you do in such a way that I will go back and then come back, go and come back successfully. So kinte madvachanam na kartavyam ityashankya prathama pravritta piturvachana karananantaram kriyate iti. So why don't you fulfill my words also? So Yashoda, what is her name? Kausalya must be asking. So I am also telling you something, you should follow my words also. Yes, I will follow your words also. That is, I have to be king, and then by my being a king, you will get some happiness in life. That I will definitely do when after I follow father's instructions, because that has come first. Prathama prapta it is. So father's instruction came first, so that I will follow. This instruction I will follow later. Like I told you, there is Mimamsaka rule also. So Shruti, Linga, Sthana, Samakhya, etc. There is one Mimamsa Sutra also like that. So what comes first, what takes precedence, etc. The direct instruction of Pita is there, that is to go to the forest. Your instruction is just as a response to that instruction. Therefore, his instruction takes precedence. I will follow it, etc. So that he is telling. Shoka sandharyatam matar hridaye sadhumashuchaha vanavasa dihaishyami punah kritva piturvachaha. I hope I have explained every word in the previous shloka. Tirna pratignascha vanat punareshyam yam purim yativa rajarshihi purahitva punardivam. Shoka sandharyatam mataha, he mataha, shokaha sandharyatam hridaye. So sadhu sandharyatam, you can say. So he mataha, he mata, that is, hey mother, please keep this shoka within you. That is, you don't, what should I say, don't give in to this shoka sandharyatam. So in Telugu you say tattuko. So you please, you put up with this shoka. So shoka sandharyatam hridaye. Sadhu hridaye. So very nicely you please keep it within yourself. Ma shuchaha, please don't cry. Please don't. She's continuously crying. So that crying you please don't do. Vanavasa dihaishyami punah kritva piturvachaha. So vanavasat. So piturvachaha kritva vanavasat punaha iha eshyami. So having followed father's instructions, I will go to the forest and having finished that vanavasam, vanavasad iha punaha eshyami. I will come back here once again after implementing father's words. So he mataha shokaha shoka vishishtah pitet. So here Shiromanikara gives one more nice meaning. So he mata, so shoka sandharyatam hridaye. You please keep this shoka within you. That is one meaning. What Shiromanikara is saying is, you please ascertain in your heart that even father is unhappy with my having to go to the forest, but we can't help it. I have to put an end to those rakshasas, etc. That meaning he is giving. So you please don't think that father is very happily sending me. He is also in a lot of dukkha, etc. He is telling. Anyway, so Tvaya Mayaja Vaidehya Lakshmanena Sumitraya Pitur Niyoge Sthathavyam Esha Dharma Sanatanaha. So he is telling, hey mother, so all of us have to follow father's words. So by this one shloka you can see who all Rama considers as his team, if at all he thinks something like that. So Tvaya by you, Maya by me, Vaidehya by Vaidehi Sita Devi, Lakshmanena by Lakshmana, and Sumitraya by Sumitra. By all of these people, we have to follow father's words. Pitur niyoge statavyam. We have to remain in father's orders. That is, we have to follow his words. Pitur niyoge statavyam esha dharma sanatanaha. This is Sanatana Dharma. That is because he is our Lord. He is our Lord for me and Lakshmana. He is our Lord because he is our father. For you and Sumitra, he is the Lord because he is your husband. And for Sita, he is the Lord because he is father-in-law. Therefore, to obey his instructions is Sanatana Dharma. So, Esha Dharma Sanatanaha keeps coming now and then in Ramayana. So, Esha Dharma Sanatanaha. Amba Sambhritya Sambharan Dukkham Hridi Nigrihya Cha. So, Nigrihya, and after Nigrihya, there should be a space. So, if that space is not there, maybe you can put some chinna. So, Nigrihya Cha Vanavasa Krita Buddhir Mama Dharmyanuvatyatam. So, hey Amba, hey mother, Sambhritya Sambharan. So, Dukkham Hridi Nigrihya Cha. So, this Sambharan, Abhisheka Sambharan, Sambhritya. Sambhritya means what? So, Sambharan, Abhisheka Sambharan, Nigrihya, Nivarya. So, Sambhritya means, so you mentally reject those things. Those things don't belong to us anymore. Like that, you please decide. Sambhritya Sambharan, Dukkham Hridi Nigrihya Cha. So, this Dukkham that you are experiencing, that you please keep it within yourself. Hridi Nigrihya Cha. And then what should we do? Vanavasa Krita Buddhihi, Mama Buddhihi, which is Vanavasa Krita. That is my mind, which is now decided to go to the forest, such kind of buddhi, dharmyanuvartyatam. So dharmya buddhihi, that is, so which is a very dharmic buddhi. Dharmyam means dharma anapetam, that which is not away from dharma. That is, it is dharmic. This dharmic buddhi of mine, anuvartyatam, you also please follow. Anuvartyatam, not me. This buddhi of mine, this dharmic buddhi. What is dharmic buddhi here? We have to follow father's words. And then you also stay back here. No coming and all. That also is going to say. So Rama, Kausalya, Lakshmana, this dialogue doesn't end here. Like I told you, another 3-4 chapters it goes. For now, he's giving some conclusion. So please, mother, put an end to your shoka. You please keep it within you. That is, you put an end to it. That's the idea. So Amba Sambhra, if you today modern psychologists, they will say you should not suppress Dukkham and all that. I don't know what's the answer here. But then Dukkham Hridi Nigrihya, you please keep that Dukkham within you. You give up all those ideas of Abhisheka Sambhara. See, here also is an indication to say Kausalya also perhaps was interested in Lakshmana's idea. That's why Rama is telling Abhisheka Sambharan Sambhritya. So you please give up on those ideas of me somehow being the king. The Abhisheka Sambharas, you reject all of them. And then Vanavasa Krita Mama Buddhihi, which is Dharmya Buddhihi. See, Buddhi is Strilinga. So he is telling Dharmya Buddhihi Anuvartyatam. So may it be followed by you also. Etad vachastasya nishamya mata sudharmyam avyagram aviklavancha mriteva sanyam pratilabhya devi samiksha ramam punarityuvacha. Etad tasya vachaha nishamya. Tasya ramasya etad vachaha. These words nishamya, having heard, Mata Kausalya, Sudharmyam, Avyagram, Aviklavancha. 3 adjectives Valmiki is giving for Rama's words. What kind of words were they? Were Sudharmyam Vachaha. Sudharmyam Vachaha. So, like I told you, Dharmyam means Dharmadanapetam. So, Sudharmyam means extremely dharmic words that he said. See, like I told you, he is speaking what is technically highest dharma. Everybody should be appreciating him. But then what, instead of appreciating him, Rama, you are doing such a great sacrifice. What are people telling him? Rama, don't do this. So how he must be feeling? So we can also, somehow connect in that way with Rama. Sudharmyam Avyagram. Avyagram means very cool. That is, he is not getting angry. Avyagram Vachaha. So what are these people telling? Avyagram, Anakulam. That is, so undisturbed words. Anakulam Vachaha, Avyagram. And then Aviklavam. Aviklavam is, so without any fear, he is telling, I will go to the forest, as though it's some picnic that he has to go. He's very calmly saying. So Aviklavam Vachaha. So as though it's a very small thing to do, he's telling those words. Nishamya, having heard that Mata Kausalya, Mriteva Sanyam Pratilabhya Devi, that Devi Kausalya. So Mrita Sanyam Pratilabhya Iva, like a dead person gets back some amount of consciousness, like that. Mriteva Sanyam Pratilabhya Devi, some consciousness she is regaining, that is some composure she is getting for herself. So Ramam Samiksha, so she is examining Rama, she is looking at him, and then Punaha Ityuvacha, these words. So in reply, she spoke these words to him. So aviklavam viklava dridha nishchaya pratipadakam ityartha, etc. I told you that. Anyway, so what is she saying? Yathaiva te putra pita tathaham gurusva dharmena suhrittaya cha natvanujanami namam vihaya sudukhitam arhasi putra gantum. So she's coming back to the same point again. Hey Rama, like your father is respectable by you, I am also respectable by you. Yathaiva, hey Rama, hey Putra, yathaiva te pita guruhu tatha aham. So like your father is guru to you. Guru means here pujyaha. You have to respect him. You have to honor his word. Like that, tatha aham. In the same way, even I am your guru. Even my words you have to honor. So how father is guru to you? Swadharmena suhrittayacha. Because it is your dharma to follow your father's words, and because he is a very loving father also. Therefore, you are following his words. But then these two things are there with me also. So dharma mandates that you have to respect mother's words also. And then I am also your suhrit, I am also your well-wisher, I also love you so much. Therefore, I am also equal. My words also stand equal with your father's instruction. Natva anujanami. Twa here means tvam. Natvam anujanami. You don't have to correct or anything. Natva. So natva anujanami. That twa is tvam. So natvam anujanami. Namam vihaya sudukhitam arhasi putra gantum. So natva anujanami, I am not going to give you permission. I am not giving you permission to go. And then he putra namam vihaya. So sudukhitam mam vihaya vanam gantum na arhasi. So vanam is not there. You can say so gantum na arhasi. So leaving me who is sudukhita, who is extremely sorrowful. Such a me having so leaving me behind. So gantum na arhasi, you should not be going. It would be very inappropriate of you to go, leaving me here, to go to the forest, leaving me back here to be in this state of sorrow. Kim jivitene ha vina tvaya me lokena va kim swadhayamritena shreyo muhurtam tava sannidhanam mamaiva kritsnadapi jiva lokat. So that should be jiva lokat. That, you know, the last thing is jiva lokat. If that, what should I say, that if that consonant is not there, just ta is there, then you put that symbol. The print is there like that in my book. Kim jiviteneha iha jivitena kim. What is the use of me living here? What is the use of my life? Vinat tvaya, without you. So me jivitena, what is the use of my life without you? Without you, that is without living with you, that is without you around. Loke nava. So here loka is there and then jiva loka is there later also. So each of them is giving one meaning. Here lokena Tilakakara simply says, so itara bandhu janena. See, if other relatives are there, Sumitra is there, all of them are there, still without you there is no interest for me in my own life. Na loke nava kim swadhaya amritena. Swadhaya. So swadha is what you use in pitru karyams. Like for devatas you say swaha. For pitras you say swadha. So swadha namastarpayami, etc. So swadha is used for pitru karyams. So that swadha is, so by pitradeva archana, so pitradeva aradhana, by devata aradhana also you have to include here, they are saying. So swadhaya pitru pujanena idam upalakshanam deva puja dehe api. By devata pujas, by pitru puja, what am I going to get? I don't want any of it without you. Amritena. So each of them, for this amritena also they are giving meaning. Amritena, Tilakakara is telling, Amrita here is Tattvajnanam. Even Tattvajnanam I don't want without you. That is one meaning. Or Amritena Jivitena, that is Shiromanikara is telling, even everlasting life I don't want. So a life which has no end, that kind of life also without you I don't want. So Swadhaya, you can say Pitrakaryam includes all other karyams, not just Devata karyam, every karma. So all the karmas also and the consequent karma phalam also I don't want without you. Shreyo muhurtam tava sannidhanam. So mamaiva kritsnadapi jivalokat. Kritsnad jivalokadapi, than all the entire lokas. So all the 14 lokas you can say, if you give me, so nobody is going to ask the lower lokas, but all the higher lokas also if you give me, then all of them I just want your presence. So kritsnadapi jivalokat tava sannidhanam muhurtam api tava sannidhanam shreyaha. So to live in all those higher lokas forever, than that, even to remain for a moment in your presence is shreyaha for me. That is, I prefer that. I like that more. I like your presence even for a moment more than how much I like to stay in all those lokas. So this also many meanings are being given. So Swadhaya, Swadha Shiromanikara, I told you, Nikhila Kriyaya. So by all the Kriyas, I don't want, I don't want any Kriya and Karma Phala, etc. I just want your presence. So Govinda Raja has some nice interpretation here. Lokena means Paralokena, by all the higher worlds. Swadhaya Piturloka Prapti, that Piturloka also I don't want. And then Kena includes. Sorry, I seem to have lost for a moment.
Yeah, around 30
I
seconds.
don't know from where.
You're talking about this Swadhaya.
Yeah, so Swadhaya, I was giving many meanings. Anyway, Swadhaya includes Pitraloka. So that Pitraloka and higher lokas and Maharloka, all the higher lokas living in that better than that is to live even for a moment in your presence. So that is what she is telling. Next shloka is one of the most wonderful shlokas of Valmiki. So in Telugu there is an expression. So Mukumi the Velespuram. After you listen to the expression or the example that he is giving there, you will put your finger on your nose and say, "Ba Valmiki is such a nice, what should I say, simile he gave." Okay. So I will ask you after telling you the meaning whether you did that or not. So Narairi Volka Bhirapohyamano Mahagajo Dhvantam Abhipravishtaha Bhuyah Prajajwala Vilapamevam Nishamya Ramah Karunam Jananyaha. So what he's telling is Rama is getting angry when these people are talking. So this mother is crying, Lakshmana is goading him into some cruel action. He's listening to all that and he's getting angry. That how he's describing. So you see, Naraihi Ulkabhihi Apohyamanaha Mahagajaha Dhvantam Abhipravishtaha. This Dhvantam is Tilakakara's Patha. So there is a better patha which I like more, which is Adhvanam. Adhvanam is Margam, which is Govinda Raja and Shiromani Kara taking. Anyway, so Ulka Vihi, by Ulka is, Ulka is that, so what is, how do I say? That Ulka is, there is, you have a wooden staff or something, and then there's a cloth tied on it and it's burnt. Hand torch, so the torch, Ulka is the torch. So, uh, Ulka, so I don't know how to translate it. So Ulka, what these people are saying is, so Alata, yeah, Alata we say, Alata Shanti came from that. Prakaranam's name also came there. So that Ulka is that fire torch, that handheld fire torch. So these, what I will tell you in general first. So when elephant, a Mahagajaha, so a very rowdy elephant is coming, and then people are using these hand torches and trying to stop it. It is trying to go in a marga adhvanam. It is trying to go, and these people are stopping it with fire torches. How angry that elephant would be. So in that torch light, that fire, that elephant's anger is coming out. It's being seen. So it's shining or burning. That light also is falling on the elephant, and it is also getting angry like that. So it is wanting to freely go, but people are putting torches and threatening it and stopping it from going like that. This Rama is also getting angry. He wants to freely go in the marga, dharma marga, but these people's words are like those fire torches which is stopping him from going in the marga. Very beautiful description. So Naraihi, so Dhvantam is Tilakakara's patha. Dhvanta is, Andhakara. So then Andhakara, how you should take an elephant caught in a dark pit or something like that, dark well, an elephant fell, and then these people are showing torches, etc., to that elephant to scare it. So apohyamanaha, he's telling tudyamanaha, something like that. So apohyamanaha, tudyamanaha, yeah. So this elephant is being hurt or beaten by those fire torches. That elephant itself is stuck in a dark well, and these people are beating it with fire torch. So that makes no sense perhaps. But the way the other people are saying, apohyamanaha is nivaryamanaha. So they are obstructing its marga. It is going on an adhvanam. Adhvanam is margam. It is trying to go on a marga, and people are stopping it by, by threatening it with fire torch. If it sees fire, it will get scared. That's the idea. So naraihi, by people, ulkabhihi means with those fire torches. Apohyamanaha mahagajaha. Mahagajaha, great big elephant. That is a very rowdy elephant, you can say. Mahagajaha, or a great elephant. So that great elephant, apohyamanaha, nivaryamanaha. Now I am taking the other people's commentary. Nivaryamanaha is, it's being obstructed. By whom? By people. How? With those hand torches, fire torches. So what kind of gaja? So adhvanam. So mahagajodhvanam abhipravishtaha. You should make one avagraha there and say adhvanam. So Mahagajaha Adhvanam Abhipravishtaha. Abhipravishtaha is entering. So it is entering into a marga. It is trying to go into on a marga. That elephant is being hindered by torches by these people. Like that, this so like how that elephant would be Bhuyaha Prajajwala. So it is shining in that light and it's getting angry. It is getting frustrated, and that frustration is coming out in the light of the torch. Like that. This Rama is also burning. Bhuyaha Prajajwala Vilapam evam nishamya. Evam vilapam nishamya. This kind of vilapa, the crying, wailing of his mother, nishamya, having heard. So bhuyaha prajajwala. He is also shining, blazing means what? He is also getting angry. Ramaha. So jananyaha karunam vilapam. Evam karunam vilapam. This very, very sad wailing of his mother. He is listening, but he is getting angry. I am trying to go on a dharma marga and these people are obstructing me. That is what he's, but later he's going to still speak very calmly. That is going to come later. So Bhuyaha Prajajwala, he's getting more and more angry here. Very, very beautiful description. I liked it a lot. Whether you liked it, so I was also hoping you people will do like this. Okay, so so he got angry on his mother. How can you say? So immediately Shiromani Kara will come to the rescue and say, no, no, not his mother's words. So here Jananyaha Karunam Vilapam he's telling. So you should take these people who are around his Janani. So Janani Vilapa Sadrisham Jananya Samipavartinam iti Seshaha. So people who are around his mother, they are also crying. Kausalya's handmaids, etc. They also have a lot of love towards Rama. So because they reared him up, etc. So they are crying, but by that crying, he is getting angry, not on Kausalya's crying, etc. But in the shloka, so much meaning is not there. He is getting angry on Kausalya's wailing directly. Okay, so if you any of you have this book, Rashtriya Sanskrit Sansthan's book, there is a mistake in Tilakakara's commentary. So in the last line there, pravartaitum vipalati iti krodhaha. So that should not be vipalati iti, perhaps it should be vilapati iti krodhaha. Anyway, so swam matru karunyepi, Govinda Raja is nicely saying, evam matru karunyepi dharma eva sthiro abhud ityaha. So even if my mother is crying and she's stopping me, but dharma precedes, even just because somebody is crying and stopping you, you should not say, okay, I will do adharma. No. So matru karunyadapi dharma eva sthiraha abhud ityarthaha. So naraihi gaja, etc. This I told you. Atra, one more interesting point Govinda Raja says. So atra naraihi ityupamana gata bahuvachanena पुनः सौमित्रिणापि तथैवोक्तम् इति गम्यते अत एव मातरं सौमित्रिं चेत्युक्तम्. So here after Rama finished his speech, see how did Rama speak? First he spoke to Saumitri. See first how did this chapter start? Saumitri, Lakshmana started speaking, then Kausalya started speaking, then Rama in reply first spoke to Lakshmana, then he spoke to Kausalya, now Kausalya spoke again, and then Rama is getting frustrated. That is how it is there. So here Govinda Raja is telling you have to say after Rama finished speaking, Kausalya spoke, Lakshmana also spoke. How did you know Lakshmana also spoke? Because in the shloka naraihi plural is there. So that is, so even where Dvivachanam should be used, Bahuvachanam can be used. There is one grammar rule which commentators will quote in a later context. There I will tell you that. So Dvivachanam is to be used, but plural is being used. So there it shows Kausalya also spoke, Sumitranandana, the Saumitri also spoke. He is listening to once again these people's words. So I am telling them still they are saying the same thing and he is getting angry on that. That's how you should take. So because of the Bahuvachana used in the example, you should assume that Lakshmana also spoke. And then this is what Rama's reaction to that is. And then Jajwala, Prajajwala is there. So Samrabdhaha abhut swamarge eva sthitaha abhut ityarthaha. Here Prajajwala, instead of saying he got angry, what you can say is Prajajwala, even after listening to his mother's wailing, etc. So he is even more shining. Means what? His commitment to this going to the Vanam, etc. is even more increased despite listening to these wailings of the mother. You can say like that. Like even the elephant, if those people are trying to threaten it with those torches, it will try to say, okay, you are threatening me, I will stamp you and go ahead. Like that elephant might think something like that. So it's a very, from this one example, so many meanings you can draw. It's a very beautiful example. Narairi volkabhirapohyamano mahagajodhvantam abhipravishtaha bhuyah prajajwala vilapamevam nishamya ramah karunam jananyaha. Next shloka, Valmiki is giving one certificate to Rama. I will just read that shloka and we will see it later tomorrow. Samataran chaiva visanya kalpam artancha samataran chaiva visanya kalpam artancha saumitrim abhiprataptam dharme sthito dharme muvacha vakyam yatha sa evarhati tatra vaktum. Yatha, Rama alone can speak like this, he is telling. So these words are so only if you have to compare how Rama's words are, you can say Rama's words are like Rama's words. That is, Rama's conduct is like Rama's conduct. Nobody else could have been like this. Valmiki. So all three of them are saying. So Valmiki is Stauti. Valmiki is praising Rama. Valmiki is giving a certificate to Rama that it is possible only for Rama to be like this. That everybody is telling they are giving him the quick solution, so easy solution, better solution, happy solution. Still he is saying I will follow dharma only, such a thing, and also to maintain that composure, etc. Only Rama can do such a thing. Sa evarhati tatra vaktum. So tatra is in this such a very disturbing situation also. Sa eva vaktum sa eva so etadasham this vakyam vaktum arhati. So these kind of words only Rama can speak even in such a context. That's what Valmiki is telling. We will see this later tomorrow's session. Om यत्र यत्र रघुनाथ कीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम्. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम. तत्सत्. श्रीरामार्पणमस्तु.